much just to ask right a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South they flying, keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes guys, welcome back to episode 5 of Transfer Weekly, the show where I tell you all about all of the rumours and all of the potential transfers that are coming in and going out of Crystal Palace in this summer window. Today it is some more players, more Wilfred Zaha replacements potentially, and another centre-back, so it's going to be an interesting one. Hope you guys enjoy. As always, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. Per Schurz, the 23-year-old Dutch centre-back who currently plays for Torino in the Italian league, is currently being linked to the move to Crystal Palace this summer. He is a very good centre-back. He is one of them players that is definitely more than good enough to start for Crystal Palace at this moment in time. However, that does lead me to believe that one of Joachim Andersen or Mark Gay are going to be sold in this transfer window. Well, there's that, and there's a potential that we might change formation to a 3 at the back. And in that case, we'll need to keep Richards, we need to keep Tompkins. We've already signed Tompkins on a new deal, which makes this transfer and the next transfer that I'm going to talk about a bit more confusing. However, Roy Hodgson, I highly doubt he's going to change formation to a 3 at the back, because we know how he's played. We've had him for 5 years before, we've had him now, and we've never played 3 at the back, never played 5 at the back. So, you know what, I don't think that's the case. I think it's 100% either one of Mark Gay or Joachim Andersen are going to leave Crystal Palace this summer. Doing my research on this player, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. He's very aggressive in the tackle, he's very big, he's very strong. He's got a 93% pass accuracy over the whole of last season, which is absolutely insane. He's 6'3", he's very strong. As I said, with him being aggressive, he likes to get in front of the forwards to intercept. He does like to run with the ball. He likes to pick up the ball and dribble with it a little bit. Not to the extent that Mark Gay can do it, but he has gone on breaking runs going forwards. He does like to link up the play when going forwards, and he has scored 1 or 2 goals while doing it throughout his whole career. Very good to have a dynamic defender that can defend and also help out in attack. Because of how big he is, he can help out in set pieces defensively and offensively. He's always a threat in the area. And he's very comfortable on the ball, actually, for someone so big. So, for someone that can be so aggressive in 1v1 defending. He also has, I said that he's got that dribbling ability that Mark Gay has. He also has another quality that Andersen has. He's just, I wouldn't say he's as good as Andersen, but he can hit a long pass and he's very good at it as well. Very reliably able to do it, but he doesn't do it to the same extent that Andersen can. He's sort of like a weird blend of both players, of Andersen and Gay, and for someone like him, it's someone that we should be looking at. Someone that's 23, he's young, still got time to grow and become a better player. I say the only downside I would say that is he is fast. If when he starts running and he gets going, he's very fast, can keep up with the best of players, because he has I've seen clips of him chasing down Osimhen, defending really well against him as well. He was a top scorer last year, touted to go to Real Madrid for over £100 million. He's done really well. It's just the fact of getting up to speed. So I think that players in the Premier League, such as Sterling, would really struggle against if he's left one-on-one. But his defending ability, slide tackling, one-on-one defending is absolutely top-notch, and I wouldn't be upset if he signed for Crystal Palace. He started 28 out of 30 games in the 2022-23 season with 0 goals and 2 big chances missed. Both of these were from set pieces, unfortunately, registering 2 assists and 1 big chance created that wasn't converted, unfortunately. I think that was a long ball which he put through and the guy was running through on goal. Unfortunately, he missed it, but it was a great pass. 88% pass completion rate throughout the whole season, with 1.8 long passes registered per 90. This is very good, don't get me wrong. It's basically 2 long passes per game. However, if you compare it to someone like Andersen, who has 6.3 long passes per 90, it really does show that he's not as capable as Anderson in that area of his game. 5.8 clearances per 90, but that's just the nature of how Torino play. They like to sit deep. 8 yellow cards throughout the whole season. Not too bad, but I'm actually very impressed that it's not a lot higher because of how aggressive, how quickly he'll go to ground with slide tackles. He is very good at winning the ball, obviously. That's why he hasn't got that many yellows. Unfortunately, he is a very, very, very Crystal Palace kind of signing because his injury record isn't the best, with 41 days out injured alone this season. And it wouldn't be a good Palace player. We wouldn't buy him if he wasn't injury prone. So unfortunately, that's how things are going with Per Schurz right now. However, HITC has reported that Crystal Palace have bid £21 million for Per Schurz, who has currently rejected a proposal from Liverpool because he hasn't been promised the game time at Liverpool. Surely this must further confirm that my thoughts of one of either Gay or Anderson are going to leave Crystal Palace. As I said as well, he has similar attributes to Gay, similar attributes to Anderson. But not to the same extent, as he can dribble and he can long pass, but he just can't do both of them as well as the others can. Honestly, I'm not sure who to sell, really. Please put in the comments below. Who would you rather sell to make the space for him? Would you rather sell Gay or would you rather sell Anderson? Put it this way, would you rather a lot more help in attacks, or would you rather a future England captain being in Crystal Palace's team? I don't know what Roy's gonna do, but one thing I definitely know he's not gonna do is switch to 3 at the back. Wilfried Gnonto is a 19-year-old Italian left winger that currently plays for Leeds. They purchased him at the start of the last season, and unfortunately they have been relegated now. His contract is up in 2027. However, I'm sure that with the fee that's paid, the kind of player that he is, I'm sure that there is a relegation clause in that contract. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that there hasn't been that much interest in him so far this window, because he's incredible. He's a worldwide wonder kid, like really well known. And I tell you what, he's done really well in the Premier League. I don't think anyone really was ready for how good he was actually going to be on his first season. And if he's that good on his first season, how good will his second season be? Honestly, there's a lot of players at Leeds right now, a lot of forwards at Leeds that I wouldn't really mind Crystal Palace looking at or maybe even picking up, the likes of Somerville, Sinistera and Jack Harrison. However, I would much rather us go and put all our money into Wilfried Gnonto. He's probably at the top of my list for Leeds players, and for my short list, it's really tough to decide whether I'd rather want him or Mike Trezor. Some of his attributes are that he is short, and don't get me wrong, I am short as well, but trust me, he is a very agile winger with pace and drive, good passing ability, good technical ability. When he runs, he just runs through defenses. He may be short, but he is very strong. When he runs through defenses, the ball just sticks to his feet. He seems to take very good touches. Likes to draw fouls as well. People have been fouling him a lot because they just can't get the ball off his foot. Great range of passing as well, like good crossing, coming inside, going outside, going to the byline as well. Shooting, I'm very surprised actually. He's scored some very acrobatic goals this season, great assists as well, and for most of Leeds' games, he's been a focal point in their team towards the end of the season when he started to really adapt and thrive in the Premier League. He does fit the Crystal Palace mould when doing the eye test. He's just a baller, really, isn't he? Reminds me a lot of Wilfried Zaha. Imagine that. Imagine replacing Wilfried Zaha with Wilfried Gnonto. Is it fate? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. I'd like to see how versatile he is. He does like to pick up the ball out wide, can come short as well, can play right and left wing if really needed to, and just everything about him just screams Crystal Palace, and I think it's a really smart deal if we can get him for the right price. However, I feel like Leeds may price him out of a move to Crystal Palace. With 14 starts in 24 total appearances, it took him a little bit of time to adjust to the Premier League. In the second half of the season, he did start 78% of all games, which is good, shows that he's confident. The Allardyce and Gracia really believed in him and believed in his abilities, that he could improve the team and help them get away from relegation. With 2 goals scored in the Premier League, 0.9 shots per 90, 1 big chance missed throughout the season, which shows, even though it is a small sample size, when he's given a chance to score, he puts it in the back of the net. 4 assists and 4 big chances created, which is good, so they converted every single chance that he has created, with 1 key pass per 90 and 77 pass completion rate throughout the season. Helps out defensively with 1.2 tackles per 90, which is great because we need wingers that can go forwards, but they can defend from the front as well, because we like to pick up the ball and break away in their own half, give us more chance to score some goals. As I said, he does like to draw fouls, 1.6 times per 90. Great at drawing fouls, very similar to Wilfried Zaha. 7 yellows in 14 starts means that he needs to improve his emotions a bit. Not improve his emotions, but maybe control it a bit more. Not to lash out as much, but where have I heard that before? I know it is just passion for the game, but sometimes it needs to be reined in just a little bit. Wilfried Gnonto is currently being linked around for about £30 million. I feel like this is way too much money for Crystal Palace. It'll be great. I feel like the gamble should be done, but for £30 million, it is a hell of a lot of money. I do still have full faith that there is a relegation clause involved, because I highly doubt a relegated team would still command £30 million for a player that they've only had for 1 season. I'm sure that Crystal Palace, if they could get this done, to get a worldwide known wonder kid, to get someone that looks like he's going to be a starter in the Italian national team, for someone with that kind of clout, it would show that we have ambition if we can do this, but I don't think we have the ambition or the funds to actually get this done at that price. If the price is lower, maybe if we could do it and a sell-on clause to Leeds, maybe help them out a bit in that way, we could be looking at an incredible player. And if we can get something like this done, it's a 1 in a million kind of signing. But if we can get this done, it will show other players, give us clout, show them that, oh look, they're building something. They may have a manager that is temporary for another year, but if they have this player, a new manager is going to want to walk in this door and say, look, I can take this team to Europe. And I'll tell you what, if we can get this done, it will just be a snowball effect. We may be lacking in some departments, but if we can get something like this done, get him settled, we can be looking onto a winner. With the age he is very little risk, a very big reward. Put it this way, if we buy him and he doesn't develop as much as we thought he would, or maybe he stands still, we can still sell him for just as much, because he's still going to be very young. 19 years old right now, keep him for 3 years, he's only 22 still, you can maybe still sell him. Remember, people are buying for potential these days, they're not buying for the finished article, and I tell you what, it's a move which would show great ambition, and also is a financial investment in investing in him, the player, to give him the opportunity and the platform to perform and to do something incredible, and also an investment into the club to maybe make them some serious cash in the future. Please forgive me for reading this one off the screen. It's a long name. Kevin Santos Lopes de Macedo.
Kevin Santos Lopes de Macedo,
Otherwise known as Kevin, is a 20-year-old Brazilian winger who is an extremely versatile kind of player for someone so young. He can play left wing, right wing, and as a second striker. Extremely skillful, flair player, which thrives off confidence and uses skills to beat opponents in one-on-ones. He loves to cut in on his right foot, but he can use his left foot as well. When he plays on the right wing, he does like to be very direct to the goal, and also when he plays on the left wing, he can do both, go to the byline or come in and shoot, maybe even pass, seeing what is happening in the game. He does like to cut in and have shots a lot more than the other options. He does score a lot and he does assist a lot as well. However, he would much rather choose to score himself rather than assist his teammates. Very similar to Gnonto, when he runs with the ball, it's just glued to his feet. He's not as built, he's not as strong as Gnonto, but with the way he moves, it's just looking like he's going to be a world beater in the future. Just the fact that he is so committed to humiliating his opponents and playing off the confidence that he has as a young player, as a young skillful player. it's just a joy to watch, and it's just someone that, with him being in a team like Crystal Palace or maybe going on loan to Molenbeek, it will just show that it will show me that if he does well there, he's got the commitment to become a real good professional footballer. And I tell you what, he's got all the attributes to do so. With how he plays tactically, Statman Dan has very kindly done a video for you guys, so please enjoy this. Dan is now going to take you through how Kevin would play for Crystal Palace and how tactically it would work out.
It's Dan, aka Down to 10, just dropping in on JC's Transfer Weekly video to give my thoughts about Kevin. One of the most Brazilian names I've ever heard in my life. Apparently, it's pronounced Kevin. Apparently. But anyways, just wanting to talk about him because we were linked with him. I believe the scouting network in Brazil picked up on him. He currently plays for Palmeiras' under 20s. He's made 2 first team appearances since he's been there. So I think that was about 2 years ago now. They started the new season. I think they're about 10 games in at the moment off the top of my head. And he is yet to make an appearance. But he has been, as far as I can see, excellent for the under 20s. And a lot of their fans on Twitter seem to be confused as to why he's not playing, but then I kind of take that with a little pinch of salt, just because, I mean, if I look at our own fan base, some people think that John Hermione Gordon should be starting for us. So, you know, I take that with maybe a little bit of pinch of salt. But anyways, I watched his games back at the Under 20 World Cup because he played for Brazil in the Under 20 World Cup recently. Unfortunately, I've not been able to see any of his other games in Brazil. I don't know if they are televised. You might need like your own, like for example Palace TV, you might need their own thing, so I'm not sure about that. But there was a video that came about showing like his highlights of his under 20s, and he looked brilliant, finishing brilliant, dribbling brilliant, and so on. My opinion is that he can be brilliant. So I've got Brazil in the famous yellow, and it's just any miscellaneous team. They tend to play like a 4-4-2. Kevin didn't start any of the games, but he did play on. He did come on for every game apart from one, I believe. And if you want to watch the games back as well, they're free to view on FIFA's website, all the replays of the whole tournament. But one thing I did notice is that he is very direct. So when he does have the ball over here, say, for example, he is very, very good at being direct. It's not like some players where they kind of want to beat the player and stuff. He is very direct, and because he's right-footed, he likes to come inside. So all day long, he'll be teasing this right back with these kind of plays, and more often than not, he'll try to come in on his side, a bit like Elisa, I guess, in that sense. And one thing I did notice that he's definitely not afraid to have a shot. Like he could be here and he'll have a pop, whether that goes in or not. His shooting was okay. It was a bit all over the place, but some of them were good shots, or they were just blocks or something like that. And one thing I did notice as well is that he's definitely not short of confidence. Like for example, this team here, I don't know who it was, but they were taking a free kick. The free kick was from out here, and he had a shot, and to be fair, he tested the goalkeeper. Like he took the free kick from about here, direct free kick, obviously, and it went all the way over here into this kind of area, and the goalkeeper had to actually make a decent save. So he's not short of confidence, and he's not short of shooting ability. My only worry with his shooting ability is that he just needs to be a bit more consistent. Dribbling wise, like I said, he does like to come in, and he does what's it called? He does he's quite direct with his free kick. So he's not, I wouldn't say he's like massively skillful in that sense. Like he's not like a flair player in the way that you'd think of like Neymar or someone like that. But he is very direct, and because he's so quick as well, it means that he is, well, he's just a very powerful player, very powerful runner. I would quite liken his dribbling to kind of like Mudryk in that sense, because he is very direct and he is very powerful with his plays. Now on the face of it, you're probably thinking, well, okay, he's a great dribbler, he's got a good shot. Why do I think that he wouldn't start for us immediately in the Premier League? I think he's definitely got the talent. But I think he's very raw. I think his decision making sometimes can be a bit questionable, and I think his passing isn't always the best. So like in this position, for example, he'll try to maybe pass to the forward when he shouldn't. At that point, maybe he should look at the left back overlapping or the centre midfielder or something like that. But then I think that is something that he can be coached on. Better passing and better awareness and better decision making. And again as well, I think sometimes I don't know why he does this, but like say for example, he's here, and let's say I don't know the left midfielder's got the ball here. The only thing I didn't really like, but then I don't know if this is because this is what the coach told him to do or whether he actually does it. I don't know. We wouldn't know that unless we'd be able to watch other games. But I would personally like to see him make that run, or if not, that run. But one thing I noticed, and again this is linked to his decision making, he seems to enjoy hanging back a bit. I don't know why this is, but that is something that I think if we were to get him would need to be coached out of his game, because he's definitely got the pace and power to make runs like this, and he's got the finishing to be able to finish them. So in summary, I think he's got the fundamentals to be a very, very good player. He's very direct and he's got a very powerful, good shot like Mudryk does. That's the player he reminds me of the most. But I would recommend improving his decision making and his passing. But again, that can be coached. But again, I don't think that would be something that we would then we wouldn't be able to play him immediately in the Premier League. And also, well, they've changed, the Home Office have changed it now, but there would have been an issue with his work permit, I believe. So a loan to RWD Molenbeek, I think, would be a good shout for him if we were to get him, and then see how he develops from there. Anyways, thank you very much, and big up JC for the Transfer Weekly.
Yeah, Dan, thank you very much for joining in on Transfer Weekly. Very interesting. Please check out his own channel, and we do tacticals every Wednesday when the season starts. I'm sure that we'll do a tactical after the window or maybe when Roy's announced, but I'll let you guys know in the future. But getting back onto Kevin, he's not got an account on SofaScore and other platforms. However, I have found some stats here for you. So with 7 appearances and 3 goals in the under-20 Brazilian Cup, he has got 3 yellows, which shows that he's got good goals, good performances, but like the other wingers I've spoke about today, emotions are running high. The yellows, 1 yellow a start. Is it good? I mean, 1 yellow a goal. Is it good enough? Not sure. However, with 5 goals and 5 assists in 8 appearances in the Copinha 2023, Dan, I'm sorry, my Brazilian isn't as good as yours. He really showed the reason why Crystal Palace and other huge teams are wanting to sign this guy. Great potential, great goals, great assists. Just a complete performance from a young player. And also, he's always got them skills. He's had some loans at Desportivo, which shows that he's got winning list to learn his trade elsewhere, the men's game, and improve his own skills. No injuries recorded for his professional career as of right now, purely because he's still too young in the Brazilian league, and that league isn't too well documented, to my opinion, so far. Kevin looks like an absolutely incredible player that we need to take a risk on. I think if there's going to be one player that we're going to have to buy, it has to be this one. £8.5 million is the asking price, and apparently we've already bidded £7.7 million. However, Palmeiras has turned it down, most likely because they are supposed the team that are going to most likely win the league. However, Botafogo has beaten them 1-0 yesterday, and they are top of the league. So Palmeiras, who were touted to win the league, are currently not winning the league to John Textor's other team. So, you know what? I think that he needs to see that as a little nudge to say, look, Crystal Palace is there for you, my friend. He may not be Premier League ready as of right now, but I think £8.5 million get him in, send him straight back out to Molenbeek, help them with their newly promoted team into the Belgian league. There is talk that they may have a transfer ban, but it's only for £600,000 that they haven't paid off for a player that they bought yet. I'm sure Textor will sort that out. And for them to get a player like him would really be good for them. It would also be mostly good for him because he can develop in Belgium, he can get his work permit in the UK and develop into an absolutely incredible player that we all know he will become. Like Nonto, like Ronnie Edwards, like Trezor, it's an investment. You've seen glimpses of absolute perfection in how he plays, and he looks like a absolute Wilfred Zaha replacement for the future. I just want to see a skillful, flary player that will take on players and humiliate them, just like how Wilfred Zaha has done all those years ago. Let's finish it off. And I think that's it. That's all the players that we wanted to cover today. Please put in the comments who you think would fit this team the best, whether it would be Nonto, whether it would be Schurz, whether it would be Clark. You tell me, what would be the best value for money for Crystal Palace Football Club? And also tell me what you think will happen. I hope that we start dwelling into the free market a little bit more. There are some good players there that I think we should take advantage of. As always, please put in the comments who you want me to cover next week. And yes, guys, this is JC from Eagle-Eyed Football. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, up the Palace. Eagles!